46-year-old grandmother Katrice Carol was brutally stabbed to death in 2008.
Someone came into her house. Someone came into her home.
I can hear them shouting. He's shouting at her.
Her family were in shock.
Terrible day. Terrible.
You know, someone's out there that's done this to you.
There were multiple suspects and an arrest was made.
Oh, Yahweh. Jumping up, smiling.
But the case was thrown out on day one of the trial.
That was another blow for us as a whānau.
9 years on and her file remains open. Two psychics will turn to the spirit world for answers.
He's holding her around the throat.
Yeah, because I'm frightened. I feel frightened.
She was stabbed more than once.
Can the psychics provide answers for Katrice's grieving family?
Somewhere out there, there's been something that's been missed or somebody knows something. I can see blood.
There was blood on the carpet.
And clues to find her killer?
I think she knows who did this to her.
Katrice Carol was born and raised on the outskirts of Napier in the Hawke's Bay. She was the youngest of 7 children to farming parents Arthur and Rebecca Carol.
She was a bubbly kid. To me, she was active and always on the go.
She was pretty brainy as a kid, so she'd work things out for herself. And coming through primary school, she did really well. She loved doing puzzles and stuff when she was a kid.
We basically found our own things to do out and play, and cowboys and Indians was the favourite one, climbing trees. Went to the marae a lot, but we were always having fun.
Being the baby of the family meant Katrice was the apple of her dad's eye.
Everybody's got a bestie. Well, it was Katrice and Dad. So they did. They had a very special relationship. She was always very patient with Dad. Mum used to get impatient with him, but not Katrice. You know, she might give him the old back lip or back chat as she's turning away going to do something for him. But she loved Dad.
With her quick mind, Katrice looked forward to the challenges of high school. But one life-changing event at age 15 would alter things forever.
She actually went to answer the phone at my parents' home. She was living there at the time, Mum and Dad. And then she started talking like mumbling, and we couldn't understand what she was saying. And then she just collapsed.
Katrice was soon diagnosed with epilepsy. She was put on daily medication, but would continue to suffer from seizures.
Yeah, I knew that she was having one, or she'd start talking like I'd be asking her something and she'd be saying hello, hello, and headaches. She used to get a headache just before it started.
It did have an impact on her schooling, and Mum and Dad were part of that. If she wasn't feeling well, they didn't want to send her because if anything happened to her like that, they didn't want that to happen. But she had a tendency to do her own self-learning. She'd do reading, you know, she'd read books, or she'll try and do courses and stuff like that that she could do from home, but she still kept up with trying to keep herself educated and upskilled.
Despite her condition, Katrice wanted a normal life. At 18, she married Don Poi Poi.
She met Don at a young age and fell in love with him, and they got married.
Yeah, really beautiful. It was a lovely day and a lovely whole weekend, because you know what they're like, we're at the marae and everyone stayed at the marae afterwards.
I just remember us all being happy when she got married. She looked beautiful.
Katrice soon fell pregnant and gave birth to twin girls, Nikki and Louine.
Growing up with my mum, she was real hard on us girls. Dad, on the other hand, he was the quiet one, I guess. But me and Mum was the main boss. Always had rules there. You know, I think just ways to
Clean up, make your bed.
yeah, looking after us. She loved hugs. She loved saying to us girls, love you. She always used to say, love you lots. She's always come out on top with us girls.
Everyone sort of rounded beside her and helped her with the twins when they were growing up and stuff. But she was a really good mum. And then she had Carla and Leela after that.
As if raising 4 young children wasn't enough, Katrice took on the responsibility of one more.
She actually helped my mum because I had my second eldest boy and I passed him to my mum to look after and bring up, and Auntie Katrice always helped mum babysit him with Nan and Kuro and brought him up. So he more or less became like a son to her.
With Don working hard to provide for his family, Katrice was left to raise the kids mostly by herself. Her frequent seizures were a constant concern.
As she did get older, there were a number of occasions, maybe 2 occasions, that she had 2 really big ones. And by big, I mean that she ended up in hospital. And they were so big that she was unconscious for longer than what she should be. The seizures just got longer and stronger.
Katrice would continue to battle with crippling pain. As her children grew older, they too had children of their own, and after 14 years of marriage, Katrice felt she needed a change. Separating from Don in 2004, she moved into a small unit on Cottrell Crescent in Marae Nui. The area didn't have a lot going for it. People were poor, jobs were scarce, and many of the locals were either in gangs or new gang members. Drug crimes and burglaries were commonplace, and Katrice's family worried for her safety.
At first, I wasn't happy that she was going to live alone, and I sort of felt if anything happened to her, and she was on her own, especially if she had a seizure.
There was always the worry was her sickness. And then just to have the other worry about, intruders or something bad that could happen if she is by herself.
Having recently separated from her husband of 14 years, Katrice Carol moved into a Cottrell Crescent flat in 2004, looking for a fresh start.
She had her own space. She could have the mokos and the kids went to visit her and stuff. The house was always spotless. You couldn't fault it. And she would fold everything up. Everything was hung up and ironed and, it was all sort of in its right place. The lounge was always tidy and neat, and even the kitchen was never in dishes anywhere.
Having Dad come around would be a highlight for Katrice.
He'd swing by the liquor shop and pick up some tui cans or something for the 2 of them. They'd bring them home, they'd unpack all their shopping, and then they'd pull out their tui cans, and Mum goes, "Oh yeah, that's why you went shopping, no?" She'd go like that to them, and they would just totally ignore Mum. And Mum would go, "God, you too," she'd go like that to them, she'd never go at them, but they'd just totally ignore her, and they'd carry on kicking back. She used to get on with everybody, really, and she always took them at face value.
Katrice was perhaps too trusting, but her openness couldn't be contained as she welcomed everyone into her home, especially her grandchildren, whom she loved having over.
The girls would always be looking for babysitter if they wanted to go out, and it was always Mum. Mum, can you look after, the mokos? She used to make matinee jackets and booties and things like that, for your tamariki, for her mokopuna. I guess she was like most grandparents, except that she wasn't a well person in the sense that she had a disability.
She used to sell Avon, because it was something she could do while she was at home, and it gave her something to do and focus on. But she did. She used to sell Avon.
Through Avon, Katrice won a midnight blue kimono, an item she treasured. This kimono would be found in a crumpled heap next to her lifeless body. Katrice kept in regular contact with her family, talking on the phone with them every day. On the morning of Saturday, the 19th of January 2008, Katrice called her sister, Joy Nella.
She was ringing me up and she'd completed her jigsaw puzzle or something. And I thought, oh gosh, she's ringing me about a damn jigsaw puzzle. I've got to get up at 8 o'clock, I've got to go, you know. And I reminded her about that I was going away. And she goes, oh, okay, sis, love you. I said, yeah, love you, bye.
That was the last time Joy Nella spoke to her sister. For the rest of the Saturday, Katrice's movements are unknown, but she did call her daughter, saying she expected a male visitor that night. On Monday morning, Katrice's daughter Carla called Joy Nella, worried she hadn't heard from her mum in over 2 days. Everyone feared she'd had an epileptic fit and needed help.
Mum rang Marilyn, our older sister, to go around and see if she was all right or to see if she was at home. So Marilyn went over to the flat, and when she got there, the back door was locked.
Katrice!
And when she tried the front door, that also was locked, and she really shook it, but it was locked. And so as she was starting to leave, she noticed the kitchen window was partly open, and she had her little son with her at the time, so she put him through the window. He got as far as the kitchen door from the sink, and she said,
Well, is she in there?
and then he said, yeah, she's here, but she's got no clothes on. And then as soon as he said those words, she just said, come here now. She pulled him out the window, and then she went down to Papa's, which was 10 minutes up the road.
My husband went to the front door to try and open the door, and he grabbed his jacket and then put that on the door handle and turned the door handle, and it opened. And I was standing behind him, and I looked in and I saw my sister, and I told my husband, don't go in.
I got to the flat, and Marilyn was there and Papa was there, and they said I couldn't go in, that she was in there. And I said, well, you know, does she need help? And they said, well, no, you know, we think she's passed away. And I said, well, why hasn't anyone checked?
An ambulance arrived, and the ambulance officer just went to the door and just took a glance. A couple of seconds he came out and he said,
I'm just going to call the police.
and that was how we found my sister.
She was found with 6 stab wounds. That might have been a murder scene. And all my family just dropped. And us girls just screamed.
Meantime, Napier police are investigating the death of a woman who they say seems to have been stabbed. The 44-year-old was found lying on the couch in her home. A forensic team is at the scene and a post-mortem is underway. Police say they have yet to determine if the woman's death will be treated as a homicide.
As the Napier police team scoured Katrice's flat for evidence, her family asked if the body could be returned to them. But they were told that further forensic testing needed to be done. This testing would be a crucial turning point in the investigation.
They just said to Few that it was now a homicide and that they needed to take her to Wellington to the where they do the forensic stuff on them.
They had a room where family could wait, and they took Katrice into the pathology lab where they were working on her. We had a little service for her, a little karakia.
When the forensics were complete, the full horror of Katrice's grisly murder was told to the grieving family.
The coroner's report said that, you know, she was found naked and that she'd received trauma to the head and that she had been stabbed about 6 or 7 times.
46-year-old Katrice Carol was dead, the victim of a brutal stabbing. She had been found by family members lying face down in the lounge, her head under the bed, partly covered by the sheets, her midnight blue kimono and black lace underwear discarded next to her. By her left elbow was the stainless steel carving knife used to stab her multiple times. Some of the wounds were so deep the knife had almost come out her back. The family were in shock.
Who would do such a thing? Who would actually just walk in and kill someone as beautiful and as caring as she was?
She didn't hurt anyone. She couldn't hurt anyone. And she never got to say goodbye to anyone.
Dad had decided he was locking himself away, so he did. And he wouldn't eat or drink for those first few days that happened. And he refused to come out of his room. But it was really hard for him.
That was when the light went out for him.
And Mum and Dad, it just broke all of us. It just broke us. And I just missed her so much. I still do.
A homicide investigation was launched. Forensics were gathered from the scene and a call went out to the wider community.
I appeal to you, come forward, albeit confidentially with information. Let us find the killer responsible for this brutal killing and put that person behind bars where they deserve to be.
As police continued the hunt for Katrice's killer, she was taken to Matahiwi Marae in Hastings to be laid to rest.
People came from everywhere, and it was people that we'd grown up with, you know, people that we knew in our communities, her new friends, old friends, people who went to school with us that came because it was our sister, and, you know, it was that sort of feeling around the marae. She had a beautiful burial service, and that was the day that I saw little Ihaya. He would have been about 2, I suppose. He's only young. He screamed. He was just screaming at her tangi. He loved his nana. And seeing him like that brought tears to my eyes, because I thought, gosh, as young as you are, you still know your nanny's not coming back.
It was hard to say goodbye to because she was very much a part of me and her. So I was so upset, and so I was hurt. I was hurt because they'd taken her. And she was like a rock to me, and then she was gone.
Police didn't have to look far afield to find a couple of prime suspects, neighbours in the block of 4 Housing Corporation flats. On one side of her, her friend, then 61-year-old Eddie Nathan.
Eddie was related on our mother's side. He used to drive the van, the courtesy van, for the Meani Hotel. So whenever she wanted anything, you know, she'd ask him if he'd pick up stuff for her, and if he was going that way or something, and so he would. He did have a crush on her, but she didn't want anything to do with him. Even though he was related to Mum, and she told my mum, anything to do with him. And Mum says, yeah, but you get him to pick stuff up for you. She said, well, we've got a van, you know, and he goes that way. But no, she didn't want anything to do with him.
Police put pressure on Eddie, convinced he had something to do with it.
It kept on me every week. I was getting sick of it. I said, if you're going to frame me, you might as well go and chuck me inside now.
Did you kill Katrice?
No. I haven't got the guts to do it.
Nathan's 39-year-old son Michael was also a suspect. A heavily tattooed former mongrel mob associate, Michael was on home detention for burglary.
His son really appreciated her and said she was really nice lady, because she used to cook for them, and you know, she never asked them anything. She just did it and offered it to them. He spoke nothing but good things about her as a person, and from what he knew in that short time he was there.
Another suspect was Katrice's neighbour on the other side, 43-year-old Zion King. Zion was a former mongrel mob associate who'd just been released from prison on parole for aggravated robbery. He'd moved into the flats before Christmas and met Katrice for the first time only a few days before her death.
Zion was her neighbour, and where the lady that used to live next door to her, that's where he was. He was known by the family, by our brothers, knew him. They knew some of his family, his wider family. He had children. He was a family man, but I don't know when he actually moved next door to Katrice, because she never actually mentioned that there was someone else next door to her.
Then there was the mysterious visitor that Katrice had mentioned was coming around to see her on the night of her murder. DNA was found on one of 2 drinking glasses. Testing revealed that it didn't match her friends, family, or anyone in the national database. It did not come from Eddie and Michael Nathan, and it didn't come from Zion King. Is it possible that Katrice's killing was a random attack? There was a large gang presence in the area. Could a yet-to-be-identified man have escaped police's attention? What happened on the night of Katrice's death is unknown. She had told her daughter she was expecting a male visitor that evening. When she was found on Monday morning, she had been wearing lingerie and her favourite blue kimono she'd won through Avon. Did Katrice welcome a mystery guest into her home? A tenant across the road noticed her check the letterbox that night and, sometime later, saw what he thought was a male entering her front door.
They sort of timed it up with a TV program that he was watching to get an approximation of the time, and that he'd seen someone walking into her flat, just saw the back of a foot going into her flat.
Police insist the male visitor was her neighbour, Zion King. There was no DNA or fingerprints putting Zion anywhere near Katrice's flat, but police had built a case based on circumstantial evidence, and they were confident they had their man.
We were all hoping that the police had the right person, they'd done what they needed to do. They just put it down that he had opportunity because he was a neighbour, and the fact that the flats were so close together, in terms of when you come in the back way, you can't really see who's coming in the back or what's happening at the back of her flat, whereas in the front, it was pretty much open in the front of the flat. So that's why they believed they had the right person.
On the 26th of March 2008, 9 weeks after Katrice's death, Zion King was arrested and charged with murder.
Relieved that he'd been found, the person that did this to our sister.
Oh, I was yahoo, jumping up, smiling, just really happy.
Zion was held in custody for 18 months and the family awaited the upcoming trial. But a devastating twist would turn things completely upside down.
It started to get a bit shaky just before the first day of the trial, and that came from, we met quite regular with the Crown Prosecutor's Office, and they started to send some really strong signals around the case.
That morning, when we were told to meet at the district court, I thought, now, how come everyone's been told to meet? Because normally the ones who are going to be witnesses in the family weren't allowed to be at those meetings. And then we all got told to be there. And I was saying, are you sure about that? Because, you know, they're going to be witnesses, they can't be part of this. But that was getting us ready to tell us there was not going to be a trial.
Zion King entered court a man accused of murder, a charge that had hung over his head for 2 years. He walked out a free man.
It's a very important day. Justice has triumphed.
I said the trial was not going ahead based on the fact that there was insufficient evidence. And it just threw all of us. And Mum had come up for that, you see. And it was a bit too late to warn her not to come, but she came. And she was just so upset and distraught about it.
Someone did do that to my daughter. We like it left open so we can find some clues to try and
solve this.
That was another blow for our parents and for us as a whānau. You know, just to be told that it's a mistrial and he won't be tried because there wasn't enough evidence.
The circumstantial evidence proved unreliable, and as for any DNA possibly linking Zion to Katrice, there was none, in part because it turned out an error was made in the early stages of the investigation.
We met with the police up at the police headquarters and they talked to us then about they thought that someone had already done the DNA and taken the samples off her, etc.
So then they washed her. So therefore all of the forensic stuff that they needed had got washed away. So basically they had a clean body with nothing on it.
It was actually sad when I think about for my parents, for my father and my mother. There was not going to be any justice for their baby daughter.
And for a few years till they died, they always hoped that something would happen so that they would know. You know, any little thing would help them. But they've now passed on, so they're never going to know.
Katrice Maihi Carol was brutally stabbed to death inside her Napier home in 2008. Her family have come to sensing murder in the hope of finding her killer.
It would be good to know that from this program that if we do get new information, that it eventually leads to an arrest of the person that did that to her.
Somewhere out there, there's been something that's been missed or somebody knows something, and as time's gone on, they might feel it's time to come forward and say something.
Just closure, justice, and that my mum can rest properly.
Sensing Murder has brought together two of Australasia's top psychics, Deb Webber and Sue Nicholson. Deb lives on the Sunshine Coast and is known for her ability to connect with the spirits of the deceased.
Floating around everyone in the family, so she goes everywhere. And you'll always remember her because she's just beautiful. She was a great woman.
English-born Sue has lived in Wellington for the past 25 years. Like Deb, she's well known throughout Australasia for helping bereaved families communicate with loved ones.
He had this feeling that I've got to do what I can, I've got to live my life the best I can, and that's what he did.
Upon their arrival in Napier, Sue and Deb are directed to a motel where the readings will be filmed. The rules for Sensing Murder are clear. The psychics have no prior information about the victim or the filming locations. They are filmed on separate days. Their job is to provide the victim's name, age, sex, and details of how and when the person died. Correct answers are sometimes confirmed by the film crew. Each psychic is given a downturned photograph. They have 8 hours to make contact with the spirit of the victim. What will Katrice choose to reveal?
Okay. I feel more of a gentle energy, of a female energy, a gentle soul.
I think it's a female. She feels young, like, it's really bizarre. I keep getting an adult, but she feels very young. So I'm thinking maybe her, again, her personality being young.
I'm getting a female, but I feel like there's this massive smile, big smile.
She's friendly, she's smiling, she's gentle. Keep getting dark skin. So she's mouldy.
She's got dark hair.
Short hair. Brown hair.
She would try and keep it shorter to keep it in control. That's what I'm getting. It's like, oh, my hair, like it would go frizzy if I didn't control it. I get her to be not of a thin build, but a build like me. That's what I'm getting.
She keeps giving me a flash of others in the family, so I'd say big family. I'd say, well, big family being extended family anyway. Well, she's one of the younger ones, not not one of the older ones in the family. So she could have been second last born? Second last or last?
Both psychics have a strong connection. Katrice was from a large Māori family and was the youngest of 7 children.
Really warm lady, nurturing.
She has a very nurturing personality.
She must have been close to her dad.
Katrice and her dad had a close relationship, and he was the main man in her life until she married Don and started a family of her own.
I'm asking her, are you a mum? And then I get this warm sensation. So I think she might be a mum.
I keep seeing a girl face. I do see children.
Her love is, undeniable.
She had quite a lot of ups and downs emotionally with a partner.
The funny thing is I can't see her husband. So I'd say there must have been separation in the family. With her marriage.
She was separated from them.
Deb and Sue are both correct. Katrice split up with her husband in 2004 and moved into a flat on Cottrell Crescent.
Okay, she's telling me about her house. She tried to keep it nice and tidy.
She's neat and tidy, loved her home. It's not a big home, it was a small home.
She was very proud of her house, to look after her house. She said she would make up the bed in the lounge, in the living room, for her grandchildren to stay, grandchildren to come and stay. She loved them. Her door was always open for people.
Katrice kept a very tidy house and loved to have her grandchildren over to stay in the lounge.
She didn't have much money.
Not a lot of money.
She tried to maintain her possessions as much as possible, or look after them. She's showing me like bottles of things and powders and smellies. She's calling it like smelly things, like to, it's weird. It's like I'm sitting here with stuff and showing somebody it. Like, do you want to buy it or do you want to, She must have sold Avon or something because I'm seeing, and she's laughing. She said, oh, yeah, I did.
Sue is correct. Katrice sold Avon from her home and couldn't work a full-time job due to her illness.
I keep getting really nervous, like shaking for some reason. My heart's just feels like it's going to fall out of my chest. The other thing I find is hard to breathe.
I feel she had, she's not good health with her breathing and her chest.
She had medication or something. She needs medication, or she was supposed to have medication. She might have been on medication or something.
It's like she didn't look after herself very well. She not let herself go in terms of how she looked, but her health.
Did she get headaches or something? Maybe she got headaches. But her nerves again. I'm going back into the nervousness again. She keeps shaking.
Both psychics are correct. Katrice suffered from epilepsy and crippling headaches and was on daily medication. But she didn't let her illness stop her from kicking back and enjoying herself.
I think she thinks it's lunchtime. She wants to eat.
She's going in the kitchen. Okay, she's in the kitchen again. She's showing me food. So I think she liked her food.
I think she would have drunk to tell you the truth.
She did like to have a drink. She'd show me a drink.
I think she did like a drink. I do. Yep.
She didn't like fancy drinks. Like she'd have she'd have a beer. She did have parties in the house. People come in. It's weird, but there seems to be more males than females that would be around her. People she knew would bring other people into the house that she didn't know. Gang members. So I feel there was an association or something to do with people knowing them, but she wasn't part of it, but she did know somebody that was in it. Don't cross them, you know, just don't cross them. But I actually feel like a fear of a male.
Sensing murder psychics Deb Webber and Sue Nicholson are contacting the spirit of Katrice Carol, who was murdered in her Napier flat in 2008. Deb decides to keep the photograph face down, but Sue feels that seeing Katrice will give her a stronger connection.
Okay, I'm gonna have a look. Yeah, her hair's like that, isn't it? Like a wiry, yeah, it was short. And she didn't like her teeth for some reason. That's why I said in her note, she didn't like, she's laughing at me. She said, now you can see who I am. I saw you anyway.
Attention now shifts to the night of the murder, starting with the date.
So she could be, you know, only in the last 10 years with whatever happened. So we could be looking at 2000 and something even. With this, we could be 2009 or 2008. She likes 8. 2008.
Well, she's showing me the month of January for some reason. All of a sudden, she's gone from there and given me January.
January. So January.
Katrice was murdered in January 2008.
It's at night time.
Nighttime because it's dark.
I'm getting excited about someone visiting me. She's got this fancy nightie on or negligee that or something there that you wouldn't wear every night.
Katrice was wearing lingerie that night, and she'd hinted to her daughter that someone special was coming to see her.
I somehow feel like things were secret. Like a male coming to visit her, a secret.
And it's a male. I keep seeing this male.
It's like I have a crush on him or something.
It feels quite broad, quite stocky broad, you know, sort of figure.
It's weird because it feels like the person that she's supposed to have come round, which I do feel he did, said he didn't.
Who was this mystery visitor? And was he the killer? Either way, the psychics pick up on the moment a man came into Katrice's home.
Someone came into her house. Someone came into her home and did this.
He came straight into the house.
Dark skin. She keeps giving me more dark skin. I feel sick under dark skin.
I hear them shouting. And I hear her say, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because I'm frightened. I feel frightened.
He must have something in her face or punched her in the face or something.
And the headache. He must have hit her or something too, maybe, because I feel like my headache. My face feels... She might have had some marks on her face.
She looked strong, but she wasn't strong. Like, she wasn't strong to fight this person off.
She just hasn't got the energy. Like, I don't have a lot of... She's not a strong woman.
He's holding her around the throat.
Strangled. Asphyxiated.
At one stage, she may have passed out. I feel like he forced his way onto her and... Did he have the knife then?
Blood. Trying to show me blood.
I see blood over here, so I feel like I'm seeing a knife.
So she was stabbed at home.
She was stabbed.
And I reckon that's why I can't breathe, the chest. She must have been stabbed in the chest.
He's got to have stabbed her in the chest because my chest keeps... It's really painful in this area.
Oh, I feel like I just want to collapse, and I think this is the stabbing part of it that I'm picking up on. And
she was stabbed more than once.
There's pain in my back, which is really unusual. It's down low. Oh, see, that's really stabbing me in the back. That's really weird.
I feel like he stabbed her that hard that I felt like he's going to come out my back. You know, like the stabbing in my back.
Katrice was stabbed 6 times, and some of the stab wounds were so violent and so deep, She had bruising right through to her back.
A couple of days or something before her body was found. It wasn't straight away. She keeps giving me a couple of days, night, day type thing. I don't think months. It feels more like days. She's also, a couple of days, she keeps saying, couple of days, still repeating it to me.
Katrice was killed sometime on Saturday night and found on Monday morning, a couple of days after her death.
See, what I'm seeing in this house, there's no forced entry, there's no broken windows, there's no breaking a lot, there's no kind of somebody breaking in and doing it, like a robbery or anything like that. I feel like they walked through the door.
Sue is right. There were no signs of forced entry. Police believe she must have let her killer in.
This was intentional. It was, this person came here with a motive. Yeah, I just feel that there was part of this is sexual as well. It's like a sexual attack.
There's something about the person. I think she knew him or she's seen him or something. There's something really, there's something there about that.
She knew this person that did this to her. He's not a stranger. He's not a stranger to her.
I keep getting like, I should be safe in my home. I should be, and it's not.
He wanted to kill her because he knew that he couldn't get away with it then. Okay. So he had to kill her.